Hey y'all, it's Edie Hill 1988 here, and okay, I've been getting a ton of questions. Well, not even just recently, like pretty much since I've had Kaine, about my whole breastfeeding experience. And it's not that I don't like to talk about it, but I address it, like, I guess I address the comments, but I guess I should just go ahead and do a video about it. And since it's World Breastfeeding Week, then I guess I'll go ahead and I guess just tell you guys about my experience. Like, and I pretty much say he never latched on, but there's just a lot behind it. So I just get a ton of questions about, you know, just the pumping and all that and blah blah blah. So I'm pretty much going to I guess I'm going to just talk about my experience, you know, with Kaine and everything, with our, you know, breastfeeding and everything. So okay, so let's see, where do I start? Of course, I had him February 14, and God, it's just, I don't know where to start with it, y'all. Okay, so he wouldn't latch on the first day, and I'm not gonna say, I mean, he just wouldn't latch. So I know, of course, he tried, and the nurses tried and stuff, but I honestly think that he didn't latch because I didn't have, like, I guess, a lot of help, because of course everyone thinks it's so, not that I'm saying everyone thinks it's easy to breastfeed, but no one actually, like, no one realizes how hard it is to actually breastfeed. So of course, like, I saw the diagrams and stuff online, and I, you know, pretty much thought, oh, not as a piece of cake, but I didn't think it would be that difficult. So I had him and everything, and like, pretty much all, like, I had such a long labor and stuff. I was just so overwhelmed and just exhausted from the whole labor that I didn't even think to latch him on, you know, like, not instantly, but at least within the first hour of birth. So pretty much, let's say, I'll say like 4 or 5 hours after he was born, we started trying. So I didn't have a lot of help. I guess the nurses helped as much as they could, but there weren't really any help. And a lactation consultant, he was born on a Sunday, and she didn't come in until Monday. So I just had, I guess, nurses, but they aren't, I guess, lactation consultants, so they pretty much do what they can. But I don't know, you know, what kind of certification they have, if any. So pretty much as soon as everyone realized he wasn't latching on, then they were pretty much like, oh, here's the SNS system. And the SNS system is like this little tube thing that you put the formula in, and it you, like, drape it over your shoulder, or if you have a bra on or something, you clip it to your bra, and it's like a little tube that you attach to your nipple or whatever, with like a piece of tape or something they give you, and it actually feeds the baby formula while they're latched on. So they're pretty much getting the nourishment, but they're also learning how to latch on, I guess. So but the first day, pretty much, he just wouldn't latch. Like, I didn't have a lot of support, you know, from the hospital itself. And then the second day is when he finally latched on. That's when the lactation consultant came. And then she was like, oh, well, here's an SNS system. She didn't say, like, pretty much, I don't know why she gave me the SNS system and told me to use it. I mean, he wasn't jaundiced or anything. Like, he was, you know, perfectly healthy. He's only a day old. But she had me use that system. And so pretty much she got formula, I guess, the second day. Second day. So, let's see. Okay, yeah. And then his second day, because we went home on his third day, so his second day, he latched on perfect, y'all. Like, it was, I mean, of course, I needed assistance every time because, you know, I really didn't know what I was doing, but every time, you know, a nurse would help, he definitely latched on. So pretty much his second day was really good. I mean, yeah, I mean, it would take him a while, but he would get it. And of course, it's a learning process. He's not supposed to be, you know, he's not born knowing how to do it. So it was, you know, learning for both of us. And then, so we're about to be discharged, and yeah, we're about to be discharged, and 30 minutes before we're about to be discharged, he's just screaming his head off, and you know, we're packing up, and everybody's, you know, bringing the wheelchair in and stuff, and you know, and well, John had to work the day that I was supposed to come home, so it was just my sister and I, and my friend Amber, but you know, she was like 36 weeks pregnant, so she was, you know, just Amber being 36 weeks pregnant, and Zaire being tired from being a teacher, and, you know, rushing home from school to. Rushed from school to take me home and everything because John had to work. So just everyone was overwhelmed and tired, and he was just screaming his head off. And I normally needed assistance latching him, you know, for basically, you know, the first 2 days he was born. I'd never done it on my own, and so I guess my, you know, adrenaline started pumping. You know, pretty much there's nobody there to help me. So I sit down in the bed and I latch him on perfect. I'm like, oh my God, I actually did it by myself, because I actually stayed in the hospital an extra day because I was so nervous because he wouldn't latch on. So I just thought, you know, I do not want to go home because I was supposed to go home Monday, and then, like, I basically stayed until Tuesday. So, because my doctor told me, he said, he told me on Monday, he was like, it's fine for you to go home Monday if you want to, but if you want to stay an extra day, then I'll tell them I want to stay an extra day. So I definitely said I want to stay an extra day to, I guess, you know, get the help and everything. But, so, where was I going with this? I can't remember. I stayed an extra day. Oh yeah, he latched on. Oh yeah, that's my first time ever latching on mom by myself, and I was just so happy. So I was like, okay, we go home, I can do this. And so then he's still fussy, and mind you, he nursed for like a whole 30 minutes. So of course it's colostrum, he's not getting a lot, but I mean he doesn't need a lot then. It's not like he's eating like 4 or 5 ounces at a time. So a nurse comes in and he's just screaming, and she's like, girl, give him a pacifier. And I was like, well, the lactation consultant told me not to give him a pacifier. And then she's like, oh, well, she doesn't have to go home with a screaming baby. And of course, like, I'm a new mom. I'm thinking, oh, it won't be that bad. Like, I didn't even think about nipple fusion. I was just like, oh, well, that's true. Like, he's screaming. I'm by myself. I'm nervous. First time mom. So I was like, okay, I'll give him a pacifier. So I give him the pacifier. He's quiet until we get home. And mind you, my house was only, the house we used to live in was only like 5 minutes away from the hospital that I delivered, Kaine at and everything. So, so it was only like a 5-minute ride. And then he gets home, and maybe 45 minutes after we get home, he's ready to eat again. So, I take his passy out and everything and try to latch him on, and he's like, y'all, pretty much like he forgot everything. Like we worked for 2 days and he forgot everything. So basically that whole first night he was home was terrible, y'all. I was up probably every 30 to 45 minutes trying to latch him on. He just would not latch, and I even had the SNS system because I was like, oh God, I'm so nervous, like he's not eating anything. So I was pretty much, had the SNS system and just trying to feed him. It was just dreadful. And then, I'm sorry, I'm so scatterbrained, but it's been so long ago, and I guess I'm just thinking of like 20 different things, because, not that I try to block it out, but that was like a really tough time. So, but anyway, so he just wouldn't latch on, and I'm crying, and John's upset, and my sister Zaire's in the bed with me. It's like, because it was like pretty much like nobody got to sleep that night, so it'd be like me and Zaire in the bed, and then me and John in the bed, and Zaire in the rocking chair, and it was just a mess. So Zaire would sit up in the bed, and she's like, do this and do that, and she's half asleep because she's a teacher, and she, pretty much gets a couple hours sleep a night then, because, well, she wasn't fully teaching then, but she was student teaching, so she was just really just exhausted. So everyone was tired and everything, and then the next morning, like, pretty much it lasted like 8 or 9 hours, and then Zaire had to go to school, and so she calls my mom on the phone, and she's crying, and she's like, Mom, Kaine won't latch on, and she's crying and everything. And so my mom says, okay, if Emerald's crying when I call her, then I'm going up to, going to her house and everything. I'm not going to say exactly where we live, but I'm going to, her house. So, and my mom at that time lived like 2.5 hours away, and she had to do mandatory classes for her job. So she calls me, and of course I'm crying. I'm like, Mom, he won't latch on. And so she says, okay, I'm coming. So she comes home, and I'm coming to my house, and pretty much I'm laying in the bed with Kaine asleep, and it seems like when I wake up, she's sitting in the rocking chair. So I just pass Kaine to her, and then I go to sleep. And so then I wake up maybe a couple hours later, and she's like, she sees me trying to latch him on and everything, and of course I have a difficulty because like he completely forgot how to do it. So she's like, oh, Emerald, give him a bottle. And so, just me being so exhausted, and, not even feeling like I was even in his world or anything, I just gave him a bottle of formula. And he drank it down. He slept for like 3 hours, y'all. So I was like, ooh, like he's sleeping. And then she was like, oh, Emerald, just pump and put it in a bottle. So that's what I started doing. When he was 3 months old, I got on that pump, and I've been on the pump every day for about 4 or 5 times a day since February 17th, I guess. February 17th. So, yeah, and pumping is very exhausting. I'm honestly very tired of it, but I know it's the best for Kaine, so, I can't see myself stopping anytime soon, because I know that with the second child, I definitely want to strictly breastfeed, so I guess I don't want to feel like I shortchanged Kaine knowing that I could do it, you know what I mean? Just being like, oh, I don't feel like doing it, because, pumping is definitely a lot of work, and I've even had people tell me, oh, well, when I have a baby, I'm not even going to try to latch it on. I'm just going to pump. And I'm like, oh my God, are you crazy? Because, like, people don't realize with pumping, like, you're doing the work of a formula feeding mom and a breastfeeding mom, because, like, you still have to lactate. You still have to produce the milk, have quality milk. And then, I say quality milk, like, eating right and all that kind of stuff. Having, an adequate milk supply for your child. You have to do that. But then you have to actually pump and, get the bottles prepared. And it's just, y'all, it's just so much work. So, definitely if you're thinking about breastfeeding, I would strongly advise you not to think about pumping first. Like, definitely try to latch your baby on, and then if that doesn't work, like I guess it didn't work for me, then definitely use the pump. But the pump would not be my first option. I say all the time, oh my God, I wish Kaine would latch on, because, just out in public, just trying to find places to pump, and, pretty much I can be cuddling him while he's feeding instead of me having to make sure somebody's holding him while I'm feeding him. So, I mean, not while I'm feeding, but while I'm pumping, you know, make sure someone can hold him or make sure he's not into things. It'd be a lot easier to just hold him. But, so I guess that's my breastfeeding story, y'all. I get a ton of questions about, I guess, just my experience. Oh, how was this and how was that? But honestly, I definitely consider myself a breastfeeding mom because I lactate, but he doesn't latch on or anything. So I guess I don't like answering like a ton of questions about my breastfeeding experience because I technically don't. Well, I do breastfeed, I mean, but it's not like he latches on and, you know, I have to deal with a whole bunch of, I mean, it's just that I pump it in the bottle. Not that it's little by no means, but, I mean, I guess I don't have to deal with latch issues and all that stuff, a lot of stuff that a lot of strictly breastfed babies go through that, you know, actually latch on, so I don't really have to worry about that. I know exactly how much he's eating every feeding because, you know, I pump it in a bottle, so if I pump a 5-ounce bottle, then I know that's how much he's getting, so it's definitely a lot of work. It's definitely hard work, but it's really worth it to, you know, see him get fat everything from me, and I've definitely lost all of my baby weight from it, so I can't complain. But let's see. Oh yeah, he does get formula a couple days out of the week. We've only gone through like 3 cans of formula since he's been born. We haven't spent any more than like $50 or so on formula in almost 6 months. So that's really good if you're looking at it from the, I guess, economical standpoint. So we saved a lot of money that way. So yeah. But I guess that's it, y'all. If this was a boring and scattered video, sorry y'all, but I've just gotten a lot of questions in the past and recently about breastfeeding, and I guess it's just such a touchy subject with some people nowadays. Like, there's always debates and all that stuff about it that I honestly didn't even really want to, not that I didn't want to do this video, but I mean, it's just so much drama with the whole breastfeeding and stuff. This is like, you're trying to say breastfeeding, and it's like a big old debate about something, you know, whether it's breastfeeding in public or formula feeding or, you know, something. So I kind of want to stay out of it, but I mean, I'm sure this is definitely going to help someone. So, and so I'm definitely going to tell her I could care less what people, you know, are going to say, but don't tell me formula feeding versus breastfeeding, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm doing what I think is best for my child, and I mean, that's all I can do. But like I said, I do plan to strictly breastfeed the second child, or third, or fourth, or whatever. So this was definitely a good learning experience. I know what to do and what not to do from now on. And so yeah, y'all. I guess that's about it. I guess if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope this is informative, and I hope I didn't just like bore you to death. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So I know I'm going to turn this camera off. I'm like, oh, I should have said this and that. But I think that's pretty much it, y'all. Oh yeah, and the main thing is, I guess for soon-to-be moms or people thinking about having a baby and stuff, the main thing is breastfeeding support, because I honestly didn't feel like I didn't have a lot of support breastfeeding. I felt like I pretty much was, you know, just I guess on my own. Like, everyone's like, oh, everyone's going to breastfeed, whatever, but I mean, just the simple thing of my mom saying, oh, give the baby a bottle, and not saying, oh, you know, try a little hard to latch them on, you know, that stuff right there. Like, I guess people saying that to you would be, I guess, a deterrent, but people don't realize how hard it is to pump into a bottle. It might sound easy to do, but it's definitely not. So, I guess the main thing is just going in, like, with the idea that not everybody's going to get it right away, so you shouldn't feel like, oh God, if my baby don't latch on the first 2 seconds, then I need to pump to a bottle. Don't feel that way. It's going to definitely take some time. And not everybody's going to come out being a terrific breastfeeder. I mean, it's going to take some work. So definitely just have the support. And it's funny because now that I pump into a bottle and everyone sees how hard it is for me, I definitely have breastfeeding support now. Like, my family's a lot more supportive. And I say my family, like my mom, and I mean, my mom formula fed all of us, so I mean, she pretty much didn't, you know, see why I wanted to breastfeed in the first place. But then, like, I guess the more she saw that, you know, she realized how fatty he was getting and how much money we were saving, and she's like, oh, everyone, that's a really good thing. So, you know, she always brags about the fact that I breastfeed now. So, yeah, y'all. So, and it's funny because I'm like one of the only people in my family that I know that actually has tried breastfeeding, or that, you know, I guess pumps into a bottle and gives it to a child, or, you know, has a baby receiving breast milk. So, I think that's good, because now I guess I'll encourage, you know, other family members, or at least try it. And I won't seem so weird, because I remember, I'm sorry this video is like 20 minutes, y'all, but at my baby shower, I remember getting my boppy pillow, and of course, you know, you're holding up everything and saying, oh, this is so-and-so that Grandpa got him, and all that kind of stuff. And so I hold up my nursing pillow, my boppy pillow, and I'm not going to say who it was that said it, but somebody's like, ew. I'm like, oh my God, like, the fact they were like, ew, she has a nursing pillow, like, ew, breastfeeding. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I honestly didn't have support from day one, I guess, like, since the baby shower. So definitely have a lot of support, and I mean, y'all just definitely have a lot of support, and don't listen to negativity. And if someone says, "Oh, give your baby a bottle," I mean, make sure that you do everything you can before you do that, because pumping is definitely hard. It's one of the honestly, the hardest thing I've ever done. I mean, labor and delivery was hard, but this is pretty rough too. So, and maybe it's just me, I don't know, but it's just so demanding. But like I said, it's definitely worth it. And so yeah, I guess that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. If I was so scatterbrained, I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm honestly trying to go ahead and get this done before Kaine wakes up. So I guess if you have any questions, let me know. And all right, talk to you later. Bye. Hey y'all, I knew I'd be forgetting something. So let's see, where do I start here? And sorry if this is like a 30-minute video, but so with the whole pumping thing, I honestly, now that I think about it, I probably wouldn't have breastfed if it wasn't for Costa26, aka Andrea. She called me the second day I was in the hospital, you know, the day Kaine learned to latch and everything, and she asked me if I had a breast pump. And of course I didn't have a breast pump. I was the type that was like, oh, I don't need a breast pump, I'm not going to work or going to class for 6 whole months, and I'll be breastfeeding my baby then, and I'll get a pump when I'm about to go back to school, and blah, blah, blah. So, of course I had no breast pump. I thought, oh, he'll latch on instantly, whatever, like, who needs a breast pump? So, the second day she calls me, or, yeah, when she's on her way to the hospital, she's like, here's a breast pump. I'm like, no. And, you know, he just learned to latch and everything, so I was like, I don't need a breast pump. But, so she brings me the breast pump anyway. And, so yeah, so I guess basically if it wasn't for Andrea, aka Costa26, I probably wouldn't have breastfed Kaine, because, you know, we didn't have a pump. So, and I probably would have been so overwhelmed that if my mom had been like, oh, just put some formula in a bottle, then that's probably what I would have done. So I guess thanks, Andrea, for the pump and everything. Of course, I tell you thanks a lot, and, you know, I thanked you when I actually, you know, bought my own pump and gave you yours back after like 3 or 4 months. So after 3 months, I think. So, but I guess shout out to Andrea, because if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have, you know, been able to breastfeed Kaine. So, I just said, y'all, I know I was forgetting something, but so yeah. So thanks, Andrea. Bye.